It's a great day to be a Coyote. Welcome, Coyote Nation, to another episode of Back to Pack Podcast, where we are going to be bringing you all of your favorite games, memories, and of course, discussion with our fellow Coyotes. As a disclaimer, we have no affiliation to the University of South Dakota. This is a podcast ran by fans for fans. The ideas and comments do not represent the university. Our opinions are our own. Be sure to find us on Twitter at BackToPackSD. With that being said, let's jump in. All right, what's going on, guys? Feels like it's been a minute for you and I, Mitch.
Yeah, for real, man. I had to dust off the mic and the headphones and everything, make sure they were charged up. It's been a minute, but I'm glad to be here, man. We got a special guest tonight.
Heck yeah. First defensive player we've interviewed.
Yes. Finally get to the other side of the ball.
Yeah, there we go. We need some of the good side for sure.
Yes. There you go. How you doing, Blake?
I'm doing good. Just got done playing some badminton outside with the fiance and got the daughter watching some Moana too, so doing good.
That's how you're gonna keep her distracted for this 30-minute interview, huh?
Yeah, that's the plan. We'll hope.
Hey, you know what? You got it figured out. If this is what you're planning at 2.5-year-old, you got it figured out. You're dialed in as a dad already.
Yeah.
All right, but no, I'm excited. You know, it's something we don't usually talk about on the defensive side. We don't get to hang out with the players there on that. But on the D line too, it's just so tough to understand as just a casual fan. So I'm excited to have you join us, Blake. But really, the first thing I want to jump in on this is, what got you to USD?
Yeah. So I've always been a Coyote. So actually, I grew up in Vermillion until I was almost 10.
Okay.
And both my parents were Coyotes. My mom played volleyball here her whole career. And then my dad just played his freshman year of college football here. And then just went to school here. And my grandfather also played here. He was a center back in the 60s, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, then moved up to Watertown. Was a big Coyote fan. We were in the blue territory, you could say, up there,
Yeah.
And so it was always fun making bets with my buddies and stuff about yoke games and stuff with that. And then when the recruiting process started, was my junior year. After my junior year summer for me, that's when I started going to camps and stuff. And, just when I came down for a junior day in the spring of my junior year to USD, I really liked it. Then did camp. The coaches liked me. I liked the coaches and just felt kind of at home, in Vermillion. Knew a lot of the townies here. And yeah, after they offered me, it kind of was a no-brainer for me to go play for the school I've always cheered for, so having that opportunity and then seeing that my grandfather and both my parents have played here and stuff, just kind of continuing that legacy of, the Yote blood in the family. So yeah, no, I was stoked when I got the offer to play here and haven't regretted a moment since. So
that's awesome. I tell you what, your family knows how to put it down at tailgate.
They do.
So is the Holden camp still going to be going?
Holden camp is still going. Yep. Good. They got their tailgate spot back. My brother's currently at Dakota Wesleyan. He'll be going into his senior year, but they still have the spot for if there's an away game or something. And then I have cousins that come down too, and they'll be holding it down for sure.
All right.
And he's a player too, right? He plays football.
Yeah, he's a wide receiver there.
Okay, so you're obviously your family is loaded with athletic talent.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I want to ask you, when we're talking about high school, so multi-sport athlete, but what is this? Just doing a quick Google search and trying to find some high school stuff on you. Playing fullback, scoring touchdowns as a fullback, and then also, punting.
Oh yeah.
You got to tell us about that real quick.
Yeah, so I actually tried out. So starting in 7th grade, I tried out for quarterback and didn't get that. They just were like, okay, you'll be a fullback. And so I played fullback from 7th grade all the way to junior year of high school, and then started varsity my junior year, and I was basically the running back. So
Okay.
Was able to run. I was one of the biggest guys on the team, probably top 3 biggest guy on the team. So all of my offensive linemen were shorter than me, so it was kind of funny. And then senior year, I got moved to tight end, and then, yeah, I just had the biggest leg on the team, so they just figured I could punt too. So did a bit of it all.
Did
It
you
was awesome.
did you play defense too then?
Yeah, I played middle linebacker all the way
Okay.
through.
Oh god, that'd be horrifying.
See, I'm just trying to picture this, because I know you obviously from your Coyote days, but it's trying to get a
Right.
sense of, okay, like what did that look like in high school? So that's awesome.
Yeah, I was a lot slimmer back in the day for sure.
Jeez. So, and with your stature, so I want to talk about kind of your USD days too, like, playing nose tackle in the middle there and just clogging it up, but you're not super tall compared to some other defensive linemen, but you're so solid in there and you're quick. And that's what I think gives you an advantage, being that quick, especially, off the ball, because you're right there, over the center, over the ball. So it just seems like you have that advantage there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not really the tallest defensive lineman, but I think that is also kind of is my advantage because a lot of the offensive linemen are bigger than me too. So just my leverage alone,
Mm-hmm.
along with my strength, helps me out a ton down in the trenches. Like on double teams,
Yeah.
I'm able to split them better because I have that better leverage and can get lower, can be more solid, closer to the ground, be more powerful and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, the low man wins, and I know you had 5 sacks this year, which was a big increase from I think the year before. I think you only had maybe 1 or 2, and to have 5 this year, because I remember making a couple gifts of your celebrations, and and so your sacks just went up significantly, and just watching you in the middle, it just seems like that's where you're able to use that kind of, like you said, get low and then use your power and strength to just fight through and get to the quarterback a lot quicker than a lot of guys.
Yeah, and that has a lot to do with just having chemistry with my teammates too. I've been in the program for 6 years, and I got to know different styles of play, which with other defensive tackles or the defensive ends, and being able to time that up better this year helped me a lot to get to the quarterback, apply some pressure for sure.
Let's say, yeah, this year it was an absolute blast watching you. And how you played this year. I mean, we all saw a huge change in your play style. But I do want to talk just a little bit about your first couple years and then leading up to the change. What was it like coming in? Were you recruited as a D lineman?
I was recruited as kind of like a stand-up end.
Okay.
Out of high school. Yeah. And then that defensive coordinator left and Coach Johansson came. And so that was, would have been the second semester of my senior year of high school is when Coach Johansson came in. And when I got onto campus, I saw my frame and just said D tackle off the bat. But it was weird because I hadn't played any type of D line, all through high school.
Yep.
The only time I played D-line was at the All-Star game or for senior year. That was the only time I ever played D-line. But
interesting.
Yeah, it was fun. But yeah.
And so
go
ahead.
What were you saying?
No, you finished your thought there.
Just like the first couple of years, what I was going to get into is, it was tough. Didn't really know the position very well. Didn't know how to play it at a high level, at a Division I level quite yet. So I was a big developmental guy. I was able to dress one game my freshman year. And so, and that was a huge accomplishment. It was being able to dress one game. A lot of guys in my class weren't able to do that. And so going into sophomore year, I thought I had a good chance, but COVID hit and I kind of regressed when we went home, wasn't able to work out as much, wasn't able to learn the defense as much. And so coming in my sophomore year, I just wasn't in a state mentally or physically to come in and play. And I take that upon myself. I could have been better. But things happen for a reason. And so that was tough, but still just being developed. Coach Johansson and the D-line coaches I've had. I had 4 D-line coaches in my career, and each one of them I've learned, really good things, technique-wise and just playing-wise and about myself. So, yeah, those first couple of years were pretty tough as a college football player, for sure.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to put on the weight? Because we mentioned you weren't the biggest. You were still really solid in high school, but how long did it take you to get to where you are now?
So freshman year, actually, they call it the freshman 15.
Yep.
It was more like the freshman 50 for me.
Yep.
And it probably wasn't calories and stuff I was taking in the right way, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I got up to 312 my freshman year.
Wow.
Yeah,
Dang.
just got too big, couldn't move. I remember Coach Johansson, Coach Saga at the time, they're like, I mean, what are you doing? Like, why are you this big already? Like, it's not good weight. So then I cut down, and, I've been at the 280 to 300 mark ever since then. Really, I haven't gone much above 300 and haven't really dipped below 280. So, yeah, just eating the right food, drinking the right things helped me out a lot.
I was gonna say that catches you surprisingly in the freshman year.
Yeah.
I mean, so we talk about, Jake, the defensive line and how they just dominated this season. Looking at you and Big Mo in the middle, like you two just take up so much friggin' space. And the one game I want to highlight this real quick is the Indiana State game, right, Jake? I think that was when we did the bob out. And it was the 30 rushing attempts for -3 yards. And I know there was a handful of sacks in there too, which, obviously helps skew that number a little bit, but still 30 rushing attempts for -3 yards. Like what was that like? I mean, just totally dominating.
I mean, at the time they were coming in on like a 2-game win streak, I think. They had just beaten North Dakota. And so we knew those guys were going to be riled up. Well, we were coming off our bye week after a loss to the school up north. And we just wanted to show them that they could shove it someplace else. I mean, we were fired up to go. The whole defense was. So it wasn't just me and Mo. It took the linebackers. It took our safeties crashing down. I mean, they just couldn't get anything going up front. I mean, the boys we were playing with our hair on fire, and that's what, that was our mission all season to do. So, yeah, that was a very fun game,
What was the locker room like, especially just in the D-line section when you guys found out -3 rushing yards?
Well, we could kind of see it because I had it up on the screen.
Yep.
And we were like, dang, like that'd be cool if we held them to like 0 rushing yards and stuff, And so when we were putting in like the second and third string guys, guys that normally don't get to play in Valley games and stuff, we're like, you're going in to make a difference right now. Like you are going in and you're going to go get a TFL. You're holding them at the line of scrimmage. They're not getting anything. And I give props to those guys. Those guys came in and competed, and
they did.
And, that only helps those guys out in the future. That gave them good tape for the coaches to watch, to evaluate for this spring and this coming fall. And, yeah, just us older guys and, the starters, we were hyping the guys up from the sideline when they'd get back off the field. We're hyping them up, high-fiving them. And, yeah, so that was a good comeback game for us for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think we had a group chat going, Jake, during that game, and we were all scoreboard watching in the fourth quarter, watching that number change. And then we'd get a sack and it'd go back negative, and then we'd stop it at the line of scrimmage and it would stay there. Like we were just at that point. I mean, the game was like 42 or 49-0 or whatever. We were just watching that number and that number only.
Yeah. Well, you guys made it tough on the crowd. Definitely in the dome this year. There weren't a lot of close games, so we had to find ways to, keep the crowd going.
Yeah. No, the fans are great this year. We love the fans. We can hear you guys all the time, loud and rowdy. That's the way we liked it for sure. It was fun.
So I will say this story. My daughters, they're finally getting into watching football. They've really enjoyed it. And one time, my youngest leaned over to me and she goes, "Dad, Why does 61 have a different color jersey than everybody else?
Yes, let's go.
That's awesome.
Why does
And,
it look like he's wearing an Alabama jersey out there?
Yeah,
Or something.
So
That's hilarious.
Sort of
That is
crimson
awesome.
red.
I leaned over, and it's funny because it's like what the second quarter too, and
Yeah.
you're already saturated all the way through. Still the beer weight from freshman year working out.
Yeah, probably.
I leaned over to her though. I said, "Just watch him on this next play, and you'll understand." And funny enough, it was one of those plays where you just kind of come out of nowhere and you chase him as the quarterback's rolling out.
Yep.
You didn't get to him, but you definitely tried your damnedest on it. And I said, "See, he worked so hard to catch up, and look at the size difference. It's gonna show."
Yeah.
That's
no,
awesome.
I'm a sweater, that's for sure. I sweat like no other. I mean, there was times in high school during the day I'd be wearing a sweatshirt, it'd be like February, January. I'd have to go home during lunch to grab a different sweatshirt because I'd already sweated through. I mean, that's just sitting in class, not doing anything.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm a sweater for sure.
That's funny.
Wow.
I had to share that. Just
Yeah.
it made me laugh because it is definitely noticeable. But no,
Yeah.
this season, I want to talk about that. It, like I said, it was a blast to watch you guys on the D line go to work.
Yeah.
What caused that huge jump for, like, I'd say you and Nick really seemed to take a huge step forward during the offseason?
No one liked the taste that was left in our mouth after that NDSU playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
yeah, we accomplished making it to the playoffs, getting the furthest we had done. And I mean, we all just sat there after the game. We were talking. We were like, this is, it was just embarrassing. Like, we were like, we don't want to feel like this again. Like, we have to make something out of it. And so really all off season, we really came closer as a team too. Like, we did wiffle ball in the summer, like a team wiffle ball thing. We did a bunch of events or a bunch of stuff that brought the team together. And so you weren't just playing for yourself, you're playing for your team, and you're playing for the Yotes and your family, all this stuff. And we just worked hard. And then, in the off season, in the weight room, we hit it hard. Like, we pushed ourselves, we challenged each other. I mean, we were always competing. That's what we were trying to do in the weight room. If that was lifting, or if that was running, or if that was conditioning, we were competing with each other. You know what I mean? And then, especially with me and Nick, I mean, Nick lives right above me right now. So like we've been very close. We're dang near brothers at this point. So, and then even with Mo and bringing along Mike Keys too. Like, we all we had one common goal, and that was to stop the ball. And so that's what we tried to do every single play, and we'd play for each other. And, things went well for us this year because of it.
Yeah, no,
that's one thing I noticed. Yeah, and that's one thing I noticed was kind of just the chemistry with you four, specifically looking at the D line, but really the defense in general. But like, if I look at pre-COVID, USD football and kind of post-COVID USD football, the biggest thing I notice is across the board is size, speed, and physicality has greatly increased. And obviously, just looking at the defensive side where you're at, I mean, you guys have been very, very good these last couple of years. And, we talk about, Coach Johansson getting the promotion and stuff. And, he's obviously led that side of the ball these last couple of years, but it's been truly dominant. I think we're, as fans, we're ecstatic because you guys have taken us to that top tier. Like, we're in that conversation now, whereas before we weren't. And if you look at the players like yourself, that's really where I see it, is that speed, that physicality on the field, and size.
No, yeah, I mean, Coach Johansson, he deserves, and the entire coaching staff in general just deserves, a lot of support and their flowers or whatever, because they push us to be our best. Cleat did a really good job of training us for our size, speed, strength. But Johansson and just our coaches in general really schemed up other teams, trusted us on the field to make changes on the call or to make calls and stuff. And, just we, like I said, like we really played for each other. And I mean, I remember me and Travis Tice, freshman year, we were talking about how we want to leave Coyote football better than we found it. And I think we've come to that point, and that should be every class's motto, is to leave it better than you found it. And so, I think looking back on our careers and stuff, I think there's 5 of us. I think we could look back and strongly say that we've left it better than we found it for sure.
Oh yeah. No, I won't sit here and speak for all of Coyote Nation, but I have a feeling they all feel the same way. You guys definitely left it way better than where it was when you got here. So, I mean, kudos to you guys. The effort, we saw it. It was there. Obviously, it sucks that we didn't get to the goal that you guys wanted to get to, but we appreciate every little bit that you guys put into it. It was fantastic to watch.
Mm-hmm. No, and I know, like, from the team, even like you guys as the fans do make a difference in the dome, just with how riled up you guys can get and everything. Like, it's fun to play in front of people that actually care and are watching the game. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And it's just, so we thank you guys for doing that too. We see you guys, we hear you guys. So we really appreciate it for sure.
I mean, you're talking to a guy that's been assaulted on your behalf in the stands, so physically and verbally multiple times this season. So,
at least yours was opposing fan base.
Mine wasn't internal. It wasn't with Kyle. It was with the opposing fans. But I was going to ask, speaking of Travis, so who coined the term true yote? Because I wanted to bring that up and just ask you kind of things. Who coined that term? And then was it him or was it somebody else? And then what does that mean to you? Because in our eyes, obviously, you're a true yote.
Yeah. So Trev is the one that kind of got it going. He heard it. Do you guys remember Mike Scott? He played outside linebacker end for us.
Okay.
I only remember the name just because of The Office.
Yeah, exactly. No, but he transferred in. He had 1 year of eligibility left. And when he came in, we had high hopes that season, and obviously it didn't go the way we wanted it to. But he said something about you guys are true yotes or whatever. And Tice took that and ran. And and it's kind of stuck around. That's what we've said about each other. The guys that have been here their whole careers, to guys that have chose to come here and finish their careers playing and stuff, are considered like true yotes. So Tice is the one that got it up and going, and the rest of us are just along with it. Like it's stuck.
For sure. It's definitely a thing, and it's a very cool thing. So I want to make sure that I hit on that in this with you, and obviously there's a bunch of other guys too that we could talk about. But yeah, I think it's really cool.
I was gonna say, if we pull up the guys competing in the pro day, I feel like there's your list right there.
Yeah, just look at that list. Yep.
I mean, you guys are gonna get rewarded for everything that you put forth on it, one way or another. Now, that does bring up a point. Pro Day's coming next week. Yep. How you feeling about that?
I'm feeling good. I stayed here and trained with Cleat. Numbers are looking good. Body's feeling really good. Really looking forward to what I can go do and what I can show people that I can really move and really do stuff. So That's awesome. It should be good. Looking forward to it.
So I do want to ask, have you heard from any NFL scouts? Have you talked to anybody?
I haven't personally talked to any. Really kind of how it goes for guys at our level is after the pro day, depending on how well you do and stuff, they've seen your tape, they know how you are. They kind of just want to see you in person and see how you move, see if the numbers you kind of match the style of play.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. And so after the pro day is when a lot of us will hear from NFL scouts and stuff like that.
Okay.
Hopefully, so.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I think, Jake, with this, just from a fan's perspective, the senior class and the guys that are in that pro day, I mean, you're going to see some pretty big things. I think every year, Blake, it's the last couple of years, it seems like we're getting more and more guys, getting more representation. You're obviously seeing guys in the NFL.
Yeah.
And so I just think every year we're just kind of like taking the next step like that, just like the program itself, that bar now individually for players is also increasing. And I think we're just going to continue to see more and more guys like yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know like they have 2 junior days coming up here, and they have like over 300 kids coming, or they have like around 300 kids coming, I think, in the next 2 weekends. And so,
Yep.
that's the biggest junior day these guys we've ever had. And so,
Yes.
just getting that type of talent here and that type of people here is going to be really good for the Yotes' future for sure.
As I say, all the winning, that's a snowball effect, and getting the brand out there, and
Mm-hmm.
it comes with now some benefits of starting to reap the rewards of those last couple of years.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I do feel bad for anybody that follows me on Twitter because my entire Twitter page is just retweeting all those kids coming for junior day. Just trying to get them hyped up for it.
Got to hype
too.
them up a little bit.
Exactly.
It's good. It's good
Yep.
stuff. That's what we
Yep.
need. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So we are creeping close to, we can't obviously call it spring game anymore. We're doing a little 7-on-7.
Yeah, a little family day.
And with it, I wanted to ask, what's it like leading up to quote unquote spring game, going through the spring practices?
Spring practices, it gets old. There's a lot of headbutting, because you as a younger guy, you come in and you got to show what you can do. I mean, you take what you've learned in the fall and you apply it in the spring, and you show that you can go play at that level, in the following fall. But as an older guy, you go against the same guys over and over and over again. And so it gets pretty high tensions by spring game and by the end of the spring practice, And so I remember me and Joey Lombard, I mean, we would toss. I mean, we would fight every once in a while. And we had some pretty big fights, but I mean that's just the competitive nature, Once we got in the locker room and after practice, even like we were brothers. You know what I mean? It was all it was all good. It was just the constant beating your head against each other that you're like, okay, it's just like just ready to go play. Somebody else wanting to do something else. But no, it's good. I mean, it gets guys ready for the fall, especially with the defense this year, having a new DC and kind of learning from him and everything. It's going to take a lot of guys to learn what he likes, what he wants to do, and apply that at a high level. So it'll be good.
And there's a lot of turnover there too, just kind of leading into next year. There's some spots to be filled there, especially on the defense, and so that's going to be interesting because I expect there to be some battles for some positions.
Yeah, and they know it too. So yeah, it'll be very competitive spring ball for sure.
Awesome.
All right, so we've asked this one because obviously the people we've talked to have all been graduating, moving on, but we want to know who are some names that we should watch out for on the D line.
On the D line, Chris Dixon, D tackle. He's from Canada. Good kid.
Oh yeah.
Solid. He has, he kind of took a similar route as I did coming through the program. He came in pretty raw, but I mean, he's gotten better every year, and I expect him to have a big year coming up. I think he'll be kind of the anchor of the D line. I think he's capable of doing it. It's just if he can do it,
Mm-hmm.
And then I like the whole D line room. Like we got Brad. He's gonna be coming into his last year. He transferred here last year, but he's an old guy on the D line and he's experienced. I mean, he's seen a lot of football, and so he knows he has something to prove. And I think the spring ball would be good for him. And then, we got JT and Tayton and Avon, 3 young guys coming up through the program, developing, and kind of like I said about Chris, all those guys have developed they came a long ways from their first day on campus till now. Those guys are ready to take that next step to play at a higher level. So we got some good up and coming young guys. But they just got to go prove it now.
So does Brad still have the mullet?
No, he shaved it off.
Oh man,
he cut it off.
Dude, yeah, I just looked up his picture on Go-Go's. It's a heck of a mullet.
That's awesome.
I don't know what happened to my camera.
Oh, that's all right.
It's all good.
Oh, there we go.
There you are.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
Well, go ahead, Mitch.
I want to ask him a kind of a less serious question here, but I don't know if you know this, Blake, but you kind of became a press conference legend in the later part of the year when you were asked a question about it was, does the stuff get back to the locker room? And I think you replied something like, "We don't know what you're talking about," and then you gave a little wink. So I kind of wanted to ask you about that, and how real is it? The stuff that whether we're posting something or sharing something or whatever, does that stuff really get back to the locker room?
I mean, certain stuff does, certain stuff doesn't. People don't like to say that they see it and it affects the way they play or something. Yeah. But for some guys in particular, it fires them up a little bit more and it kind of gives you more of an edge. And so I don't think it's a bad thing saying those things, but you just can't get too wrapped up in the moment either.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. So some guys, will see it and it may get passed around a few group chats, maybe the whole team chat and stuff, and it can get the boys riled up for sure. But yeah,
that's
just
awesome.
can't lose any attention from what's actually happening. You know
right,
what I mean?
Right. So, keep the main thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Well, I know we have fun with it, as fans, and now there seems like every team has a fan podcast and different things out there, and Twitter accounts and the troll accounts and all this stuff. So we have a blast with it, and I think, Jake, that was kind of why we started this thing, was to help and grow the engagement and ultimately the Coyote fan base, right, and get more fans in the stands and so on and so forth, and promote you guys, promote the team, promote the players, and do stuff like this. So I think for us, it's fun. We get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Oh no, yeah, it's awesome. We love it. Like, I know a bunch of the guys when you guys first started, like I think a bunch of the guys, I know I follow you guys on Twitter and stuff, and I think you guys are doing a lot of good things, and I wish it would have came about sooner, honestly, because I think it's pretty awesome, just spreading the Yote awareness and, because like you said, there's a lot of other schools with similar things, but I think you guys have done a really good job as the first people kind of to really get this going, so yeah, credit to you guys.
That.
Yeah, I appreciate that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the best thing that came out of this is all the gift game.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
that was all. I think I used one of them for my highlight tape when I tweeted it out.
I love the celebration. So whenever I see a highlight with a celebration on there, I'm clipping that. So
yeah, that's awesome.
A note to all the football players for next year: if you want to be a GIF, show out after the play. Just don't get a flag.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like this stupid one in North Dakota. What a joke. Still mad about that one on Quran.
Yeah, that was he was upset about it too. So
all right, so
whatever. We won up there for the first time in how many years? So I'm kind of over it.
Yeah,
we got a fan question popping in for you, Blake. What was your favorite game in the Dome?
Favorite game in the Dome?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it'd be NDSU. Yeah, senior year when we won conference.
Oh,
okay. Yep, this year.
Because that was, leading up to that moment, controlling our own destiny. A lot of people didn't expect us to play that well, I think, and stuff. And, I played a majority of that game and, try to contribute the best I could. I don't think I played my best game by any means, but I played a solid enough game to, I think, and our defense played a solid enough game besides the second half when we kind of had some faults of our own. But that's going to be the most memorable one is winning that and then getting share of the conference, because that's something that was one of our goals from day one when we got here, and we had not achieved it. And, we talk about winning the championship. We talk about that. Well, we looked at that game and we said, hey, we can go beat anybody we want. Now we control our own destiny, and obviously we fell short, but just knocking that off of, like, it almost seemed like it was so far away when we first got here, and we came so close a few times to getting that win. Just was like, I remember coming home with my fiance, and I was just like, I just sat down. I was just like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? I was just like, this is great. So yeah, that'd probably be the highlight game in the Dome for sure for me.
Well, and I tell you what, you can jump back and try to find all the bad plays that you had in that one, but what you guys did in the last 4 minutes more than makes up for anything that you did poorly leading up to it.
Yeah.
I am not afraid to admit that I almost passed out screaming my head off in that game. Because I didn't have a voice, so it was just air coming out, and then I almost passed out. So
I was trying to keep guys calm on the sideline because there were some guys I thought might pass out from screaming and hollering and everything. After Javion caught that touchdown, everyone gasped because I thought he was going to back up out of bounds, at the 1 yard line. Right. I was like, oh my God. But he ended up falling in the end zone, and gosh, our sideline was awesome. But yeah, that was definitely a memory I'll hold forever.
Okay, so Jake, the biggest thing that I take away from this is any big game that we have in the Dome, I have to stay away because I've missed the two biggest games or two craziest games in the Dome, the Miracle and the NDSU game. Both were away for various reasons. I was actually listening to NDSU game via John Thayer on the radio call in the Omaha airport at the time when it got over. So I was screaming in the airport, but everybody's looking at me like, what is this guy, crazy or what? But no, so that's what I take away is that any big game in the Dome, Jake, just don't let me in. And Jake knows I'm superstitious. I have to sit in the same spot. I have a routine. I go in at the same time and do all this stuff.
I have one. There's a game that you need to skip this fall then.
Okay. And so the biggest ones I've not been there and we've won. So I guess the moral of the story is I just need to stay away for those big ones.
Yeah. I guess.
But this year it didn't matter because we went 8-0 at home, 8-0, whatever it was. So counting the playoffs. So yeah, I guess that's the moral of the story there.
Yeah.
All right. So we don't have any other fan questions coming in, so we'll draw this to the end, but we can't end it until we do the final, apparently back-to-pack question, and that is, what is the go-to restaurant in the Vermilion area? We're gonna branch it out because we've heard Toby's, we've heard Wimp's. We'll let you have the county.
Okay. If I worked at Leo's for a long time. I worked at Leo's for like 2 or 3 years, so if I didn't put their name in there, I'd feel bad because they have pretty good burgers there for sure.
Yep.
Okay.
And I really like their wings, but I can't dismiss the fact that I'm a huge Toby's fan as well. So I'll use that. I'll do Leo's and I'll do Toby's outside of the million stuff. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with either of those.
No.
And that's where the freshman 50 came from.
Yeah, probably.
All right, man. Perfect. Well, Mitch, I want to see, do you have anything else for Blake?
No, I just want to say thank you, for everything, all the memories, everything that you guys have done and you personally and repping, not only repping USD, but repping South Dakota, being a South Dakota boy through and through, being a coyote, your whole family. I think your mom is engaged with us on Twitter several times and maybe even Facebook too. And so I just, you guys are awesome. Your family's awesome. So I just want to say thank you and just wish you the best on Pro Day, man. I know you guys are all going to show out. Can't wait to see those numbers and get you guys some more attention from the NFL.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it. thank you guys for having me on. Obviously, I'm a big fan of your guys' show and your Twitter page and everything. I love it. Keep doing what you guys are doing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some more. So yeah, we appreciate it though.
Perfect. Appreciate it, Blake. Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Legend.
Go Yotes.
Go Yotes.
Yotes.